The views expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of WPSL. However, you're urged to like and share them with all your friends on Facebook. Because it's time for the Sue-Ellensanders Show with Sue-Ellensanders.
Welcome to the Sue-Ellensanders Show, and we're happy you're here. I'm really excited to talk to Angel Peach again because since the last time we talked about her nonprofit, which is called Little Birthday Angels, she's done so much and it's grown so much. And the last time you were here, I think you were here with your boys who were helping you to run the organization, and along with your mother. Angel, if you don't mind telling us a little bit about Little Birthday Angels so people know what we're talking about. They're not actual angels that show up at birthday parties, but they're angels of a kind, right?
Sure, of course. Our team of angels makes such an impact on the little kids, teenagers that we see at monthly. We have celebrations at 4 shelters. We also now serve, Weatherby Elementary, Gifford Middle School, Oslo Middle School, where we're actually delivering gifts, birthday gifts, to the children that are registered with the school system as homeless. So our monthly celebrations at the shelters, we go in with a different themed birthday party, and it's just a wonderful impact and a need that wasn't provided before.
And, when you think about it, the kids that end up at homeless shelters, they're not necessarily kids that have been there their whole lives. And, life stinks enough that you're there and that you don't have your whole home, even though you have other things around you. And you and your family, you're more worried about those daily things that you need to take care of, the shelter and the food and the day-to-day needs. And then when it comes to your birthday, well, you can't have everything is what people think. You can't, you're going to have to wait maybe till time. You just kind of picture mom or dad saying, oh, honey, there'll be another time. We'll celebrate your birthday. But you all go in to the homeless shelters. You get the information ahead of time of whose birthday is coming up, and you celebrate them, and you even give them exactly the type of party that they want. So that's so cool.
Well, it's not even what they want because they don't know what they want. They don't. Yeah. Most of these kids have never even had a birthday party, so they don't even know what to expect. And plus, it's not only important for the birthday kids, but for all the kids at the shelter because they don't even get to go to birthday parties. If they were invited, they most likely wouldn't go because they couldn't afford a gift. So it's real important that the celebration itself.
And that's a really good point because you're not doing this just for the birthday boy or girl. You're doing it for all those other kids at the shelter that are getting to go to a birthday party.
We have games. We have, like I said, every month a different theme. They're so excited. They know we're coming each month. We have games with the prizes and the volunteers that come and participate in that. They're there monthly. They get to know the kids, and it's really special. But in the past 3 months, we've added a new program where we're delivering gifts to kids at schools. And so that is really, these are kids that aren't in the shelters, but they're still registered as homeless in the school system.
And what's really neat about the history of the Little Birthday Angels is, you started so small. You started, just, okay, let's do this once or twice. And the boys were kind of little, and they were all about, hey, we're decorating for a birthday party. And your mom does amazing things with decorations.
Incredible. Who knew this was her hidden
Her
talent?
thing, yes.
It's her thing.
Yeah.
And none of us could do anything close to it.
The organization, though, you're in your third year?
In August will be 4.
4 years. So
And
I was
now-
darn close.
You
Yeah.
were. And now we average 200 birthday kids a year now.
Wow. That is so cool. Because
It's amazing.
you cover all the 3-county area.
Yes.
And of course, you have people who coordinate for each of the 3 counties now, and you're kind of more the administrative person who goes out and puts together the fundraisers. To begin with, you kind of started small with fundraisers and sponsors and donors. And it was like, okay, we'll raise the money one event at a time, one birthday party at a time. But now you kind of have the ability to look ahead a little bit because you have some regular sponsors and regular fundraisers.
Yes.
So I
Which
think,
is
yeah.
neat to now pull together a vision of what and our mission has always been to celebrate the birthday of every homeless child on the Treasure Coast. And 200 is an amazing number, but it's still, there's many more kids that we would love to bless on their birthday.
And it just is a type of mission that makes you feel all warm and fuzzy. And, to be a part of that is a really cool thing. And there's an easy way that's coming up just around the corner that you can be a part of helping Angel and the whole organization of Little Birthday Angels put together these birthday parties, the monthly birthday parties at the 3 different homeless shelters. And it's coming up right around the corner at the winery at Summer Crush Winery. It's a vineyard and winery. Of course, it used to be called Endless Summer, and now it's Summer Crush. And the event's called Crushing It at the Winery, and it's coming up on May 19th. So coming up next weekend.
2 weekends.
Well, of course, since the show is running on Saturday, yes, it's just next weekend. And it's a really cool event that is coming up. And all the money that's raised is going to benefit Little Birthday Angels. But beyond that, it's going to be a really fun event because, first of all, anything that they do out at Summer Crush is a lot of fun. And Gary and Susan, they had a vision to bring a vineyard to Fort Pierce, and, here it is. And they, just about every Sunday, they have some type of special event benefiting a nonprofit.
Well, this year they added Saturday, so now
Oh,
every Saturday and Sunday,
Wow.
it's called Crush.
It's always called Crushing It?
No,
Is it, or
no,
it's
this
just
is
your
the name
event?
of our event,
Okay.
but they call it Crush on Charity.
Oh,
I think is what
okay.
they call that
Okay.
event.
Okay.
And so, they really have a heart for the small grassroots local
They do.
organizations, and they bless us all.
Yeah. And, they're very committed to their community. And this is one of the ways that they can give back, Gary and Susan Roberts. So anyhow, Crushing It at the Winery will take place on May 19th, and it's going to be an evening event, early evening event, 6:30 to 9:30. And it's going to, you're calling it dressy casual, because it is an outdoor event.
Yes.
They have awesome facilities there. And so you're undercover, so it's rain or shine. But you will have dinner, live music, a photo booth, a live and silent auction. You've got sponsors. You've got dancing. And it's all for one price. Is that correct?
$75 are the tickets.
Uh-huh. And you can also, if you're listening, I know it's coming up soon, but it's not too late if you want to either be a sponsor. You can call Angel, and is that this number the best number to reach at? 800-325-6003. Or you can go online. I'm sure you have a Facebook page.
Oh, most
Yes, I think I saw the
definitely. Yes.
Facebook page. Yeah. So again, it's for little birthday angels, and the event is crushing it at the winery, and live music, dinner, so food, lots of food.
Polito Catering is our caterer. Amazing menu.
Yes, they are. Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I know his food. I know the man. Really great food. And then the live and silent auctions, if you want to participate and you don't want to be a sponsor, but you want to put together a gift basket to put on the live or silent auction,
Yes.
or if you have a service that you can donate for your live and silent auction. And then I'm kind of saving the best for last, and that's the music.
Yes.
Because yes, because the music is incredible jazz that just happens to be a bunch of high school students that are so wonderful, and 3 of them are my students.
Yay.
So I'm
And
just
they
very
just
excited
won
about that.
First place at nationals.
Yeah, they did.
The Sunrise Jazz Combo.
So it's
not just a school band.
Yeah,
They actually up and down the coast are
they
hired
perform.
for their
Yes,
performances.
yes, they perform. And Ethan Yarberry and Cameron Slack and Sammy Abraham are 3 of the members of the band, and I don't know all of the others. And there's 3 others, something like that.
I think there's
Yeah.
6.
Yeah,
And now
okay.
they have a new
And they have a
member,
soloist.
a singer
is
new to their group.
Yes, but they perform at the Sunrise Theater. They perform at the Sunrise Theater. They've been pre-event type, big time event. They've been at concerts. They perform at music competitions. And how much time do we have in this? We got plenty of time. So I'm going to tell you a little Sammy Abraham story.
Please
Okay.
do.
So I want to tell
hope he's
you
listening.
about the professionalism of these
Yes.
kids, and they're I believe 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. So the 11th graders are going to be 12th graders soon. But they are so. First of all, they're so very talented, and most of them, if not all of them, are from Lincoln Park Academy and part of the jazz band there. But they form their own combo and they perform everywhere. So the group was performing on the stage at the Sunrise Theater as a prequel to a jazz act, and they were very excited to do that. And you on stage, Sunrise Theater, you got all these people, all these eyes looking at you, and you know what? You're 16, 17 years old, and you're performing in front of all these people. So they're in the middle of a drum solo, and Sammy plays drums, and he's rocking it on the drums, and in the middle of his solo, his drumstick flies out of his hand and scoots across the stage. Well, Cameron is doing the lead. I think he's singing or he's playing saxophone or something, and he looks back. He doesn't say a word. Sammy continues playing with the other hand, reaches for a spare drumstick, puts it in the other hand, and just keeps going. And it's like he didn't miss a beat, and they just kept going. They didn't go, oh, my God, we have to stop. Can we have a do-over? No. So people talk about kids today, and they don't appreciate the integrity and the confidence and the abilities that they have. And, that whole band, they're so professional. They're so talented. They're so enthusiastic. There's nothing like a 16 or 17-year-old that's playing jazz music that they get into it. Boy, do they get into it. So
it'll be a real treat. I just was recently at the Coffee with the Mayor Hudson, who's just a dear fan of ours, and
That's awesome.
Loves what we do, and it's amazing.
How could
And the
anyone
boys-
not?
I know. And the boys were actually there playing for everyone at the Main Street Coffee with me.
Yes.
And
I
it
remember
was a real treat.
getting the email that said, these are the names that won't be in class.
Yes. Oh.
See, I look at it from another perspective, too. I'm so proud of them, but you better not miss English class, okay? leave school and do these performances during math or science, not in English.
Exactly.
So anyhow, awesome talent that will be with the Sunrise Jazz Combo. And then, of course, you have the live and silent auction, and people can donate to either of those things. Or if you're at the event, of course, you can purchase some things. What are some of the things you have on the auction already?
Oh, we're really excited. We have an all-expense-paid trip for 2 to Breckenridge, Colorado, 3-night stay, gift certificates to multiple restaurants, gift certificates at a spa. We also have a round trip by Elite Airlines for 2, going to New York City, staying at the Ritz-Carlton, and having a photo session with Bradford.
Wow, that's
Beautiful.
awesome.
And that package itself is, I think, over $7,000. So
Is that going to be in the live auction?
Yes, it is.
Yes. So
and
the
if
big
you
stuff
know
usually
him,
is.
Wesley Davis is going to be our live auctioneer. Everyone just loves him and is excited to hear. He's very charming, and so everyone's excited to see him. And we do have some wonderful people that have sponsored us. Local businesses have always rallied behind us. New Vision Eye Center, the new Fort Pierce Casino, which we're excited for. They're still having, they're open, but their grand opening will be a little later in the year.
I didn't know that they were already open.
Well, they've stayed open through the construction.
Yeah, through the construction.
Mhm,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Georgie Warren Corporation and Spadis Total Auto.
That's awesome.
So,
So, but there's room for your name. If you're
Most
part of a
definitely.
business, there's sponsorship packages that are available, and you could get all the information by contacting Angel. Again, the Facebook page for Little Birthday Angels, you can just
yes.
put in Little Birthday Angels. You can look up the event, because probably, if I know Gary and Susan, they probably also have it posted through the Summer Crush website.
Yes.
And you can. So how do people purchase tickets? To call, or can they go online? Or
They can go online, www.littlebirthday.angels.org. Right on the front page, you'll see the event, and you can click right from there, either different sponsorship levels or tickets. Also on our Facebook page under events, it has its own event page, and you can click right from that page and purchase tickets as well.
So you can purchase them right online, and then that $75 donation goes directly to the nonprofit, because, of course, a lot of the expenses are being paid for, hopefully, by sponsorship dollars.
Yes. It's a beautiful venue and wonderful food, but yes, these things do cost.
Is this
But
the first
there's
time
some-
for the event? Is this the first time you're doing this
Yes.
event? Yes.
Yes, and we're excited to continue it.
Yes.
Yes.
It sounds exciting. I'm sorry, you were going to say something else about the auction, the event, the party, the dancing.
Yes, it will be a fun evening,
Yeah.
and I'm excited. It's a beautiful time of year. The vines are all lush, and some of our sponsorships actually include wine tours, which is very generously donated by the winery.
That's awesome.
Private tour is very nice.
They also do a wine tasting sitting around the bar, so to
Yes.
speak, at Summer Crush. And if you don't know much about wines and about Summer Crush's particular kind of wine, it's a. I'm blanking out on the type of wine it is. It's very specific. I don't know. If Gary was here, he would. Anyhow, but they have some unique flavors. They have unique names for
I
their
know, they're
wine
fun.
too. There's like a mango wine and margarita
They're
and they're
wine
all like
slushies.
yes.
And their homemade sangrias. Those are two of their infamous drinks as well.
And they're kind of, it's Summer Crush. Gary's got the whole place all decked out with his surfboards and all of his surfing memorabilia. I can't say it.
Memorabilia,
I told you
think.
it's been a long,
It's been a long day.
yeah, long morning. So he, anyhow, he's got the surfboards, everything all decorated, and then a lot of his wines have names that are Jimmy Buffett style, Margaritaville type, and he uses the flavors that are all citrusy too. And then now he's got beer too. So he serves beer as well. So for you beer drinkers, he has some of the craft beer from the local breweries that he has out there. So it sounds like there's going to be a lot of fun going on, a lot of chances to come back with some gifts. And, it's happening. Is that Mother's Day weekend or is that the weekend
No,
after?
It's the weekend after.
Okay. So it would be a really good idea then to purchase tickets for Mother's Day and give them to your mom as a present and then let her pick her gift from the silent or live auction table.
And we, of course, hope to sell our tickets leading up to it, but we will be selling them at the door as well.
Okay, so some tickets at the door. And then, of course, you have Father's Day right around the corner in June. And this would also be, if you're getting tickets for your mom and your dad, then you can knock out two gifts with.
And there's going to be Father's Day is just after, and we have some really great Father's Day themed baskets as well.
Yes. So, or here's the plan. You go to the event, and that's the Mother's Day present, and then you get a gift on the auction table for Dad with a Father's Day themed package, or one of those really cool trips that you were talking about. So. Things on the auction table, you said, there's trips, there's services, there's gift baskets. There could be stuff from your company if you wanted to put that on the table too. Is there a cutoff time for when you can stop accepting things for your auction table, you think?
I mean, we appreciate anything that's donated. If it is coming close to the date, we would greatly appreciated because we know anything that is given is going to be returned.
We'll bring something
Yes.
in return, and the whole idea of the giving these kids who don't have the opportunity to have birthday parties, not just a chance to celebrate their birthday, to be the celebrated kid, but also to be the kids that are going to the birthday parties too. All the money that's raised that will help to do that. That's an awesome idea. So what else do you have planned for this summer, Angel? Anything else that we need to know about? If people have, for example, if you're a student looking for volunteer hours, do you have opportunities for people?
We do a lot of what sometimes, because you have to be 18 to volunteer at the shelters. A lot of what we do with the kids is just asking them to be ambassadors for us, introducing us to their clubs. We come and speak and getting them involved in the fundraising side of it and the collection. Friends and their daughters have, been doing those kind of things and bringing awareness, and they're knowing that what they're doing is making a big impact.
So some of the things you provide for the birthday kids, of course you decorate it and you have the party, but you also give them gifts.
Yes.
As well.
And we're now, with the new program, we're reaching into the schools to reach the homeless children that aren't living in the shelters. So we are able to go into now 4 shelters, the Hibiscus Center, Samaritan Center, Hope for Families, and Safe Space. But now our goal is to reach more children that aren't able to be at the shelters. And So now reaching them and delivering birthday gifts to them on their birthday at individual schools is now a new program.
How do you know what to get them?
Well, we get them the necessities is always important. We try to do it very discreetly. We don't want to make any child, feel brought attention to or uncomfortable. So we've been doing drives for duffel bags. We give lap desk. Most of these kids, they don't even have anywhere to do their homework on.
Yeah.
So we give lap desk, we give toiletries, but then depending on the ages, we give, the fun gifts too. If it's at like Weatherby Elementary, the girls, we give dolls, maybe, dress ups. Natalie's Juice Company, for all of our birthday children, they donate Bibles and they donate devotionals. So it's been wonderful to provide that for them as well.
Do you have anybody who supplies reading material yet?
Oh, everyone loves doing that.
Yeah.
And, so we're always accepting books. We give books to all the children as well.
That's great. Well, Angel has been my guest, and she is, are you CEO?
Yeah.
Executive director?
Executive director.
Chief boss for Little Birthday Angels. The event is crushing it at the winery. It's on May 19th from 6:30 to 9:30, and you can look it up on Facebook, or you can call 1-800-325-6003. Thanks for being my guest.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with Christina Kaiser from Devereaux and more.
More of the Sue Ellen Sanders Show straight ahead, right here. And now, back to the Sue Ellen Sanders Show with Sue Ellen Sanders.
Welcome back to the Sue Ellen Sanders Show, and I'm glad you're here because we are still talking about kids. On the first half of the show, we talked to Angel, Peach, and we were talking about little birthday angels, and now they go to the homeless shelters and they have birthday parties for the kids that are there. Christina Kaiser is with me now, and she's with Devereaux, and we're going to talk about May being Foster Child Awareness Month, Foster Family
Care Appreciation Month.
Foster Care Appreciation Month.
Depends on which website you look at.
Yes. Okay. Because yes, it is indeed May, and that's part of the contract that Devereaux has is providing the care and the contacts and for matching families with foster children.
That is a part of what we do. Yes, we are contracted with the Department of Children and Families, and really, if you think of us as a general contractor, we're the general contractor of child welfare services. So we're actually responsible for pulling services together that range from foster care, as you mentioned, and big push this month, to behavior services and group homes, placement.
So it's way beyond.
It's the entire child welfare system. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And there are some agencies in town that provide some of those services, but you cover the whole gamut.
They are part of our system.
They are. So how does that work?
So just like if you were to build a house, you would hire a general contractor, and that general contractor would reach out and hire different subcontractors to, put the roof on the house, do the carpentry, do the electricity, do the plumbing. They each specialize in different services that you need in your house. We are the general contractors of the child welfare system in Indian River, St. Lucie, Martin, and Okeechobee counties. And so instead of hiring electricians and plumbers and carpenters, we are hiring Hibiscus Children's Center and Behavior Basics and Children's Home Society and Real Life Children's Ranch to ensure that we have the services that they provide as part of our system.
But Devereaux is accountable for the whole.
We are accountable for so every child who has been abused, abandoned, or neglected, we are responsible for those children. And so we pull the system together through these various provider agencies to provide the different services. From, a child comes into care, their family may need an assortment of services ranging from, in-home intensive counseling to maybe the child's been removed from home, and so we would need services, placement services or case management services, or maybe the child maybe we don't have an available foster home, which is an important topic to talk about. But if we didn't have that foster home placement, then maybe we would need a place for that child in a group home. So all these different providers, Hibiscus, Children's Home Society, on and on and on, they're all critical to our system.
So who makes the decision? Well, first of all, before the person who makes the decision, how do you get the names of the families that are referred to you? How are they referred?
Well, a lot of different ways. First of all, we have 4 of the agencies that are part of our system. We call them Childplacing Agencies. Their responsibility is to recruit, train, and license foster parents. And so this includes, you may have heard of Camelot Community Care or 4 Kids of the Treasure Coast, Place of Hope, and Mount Bethel Human Services. So these 4 separate and independent organizations, they work in our system. We contract with them to find us foster homes. And so they're going to different community events. They are posting things on social media, as are we. And just really raising awareness for these scheduled classes that each one of them coordinates. So you would have, so anyone who was interested in becoming a foster parent, maybe they see a post on Facebook, they click that link, and they get sent to a web page on any one of our websites that would direct them to the next class, and they would just make a phone call, just like in the old days. Some things, not everything's online, Sometimes at some point you still have to pick up a phone. So they would pick up the phone, talk to one of the specialists, and just get scheduled for the next upcoming class. And
then once they do that, once they take the class, how does the system work then? So when they take the class, are they making the commitment that they are going to open their homes?
It is a process.
Okay.
And the class is comprehensive, and it is demanding. We want to make sure for both for us, for our children, and for the prospective foster parents that we are going through every possible scenario, so that at the end of these classes, and they actually vary. You could take an expedited class on Saturdays and get through it quicker. Some classes are just a few hours once a week, and so you take them over a course of 10 weeks. So it varies. But by the end of this process, by the last class, you have either decided this is definitely for me, and I want to be licensed. I understand I understand everything that I'm about to get myself into, and I agree that it is worth it. Or at any point during the process, maybe you decide, you know what, this is too much, or it's just not for me. And it goes both ways too. Sometimes that decision is made together with the specialist, because maybe the specialist sees something that, might be preventing the prospective foster parents from, doing the work.
Well, a lot of times the things we see in movies and TV programs about foster homes are less than positive, because that's what creates drama.
Yeah, I think that's really too bad.
Yeah, and it is. So the majority of foster homes, I mean, if you have to go through this training and you have to make a commitment of this nature, you've made the decision that you're going to welcome a child into your home, and you're given the tools to be able to do it.
Yes, you go through this comprehensive class. You have a heart for doing the work. You are you become a part of this network of other foster homes. It's not like you're there on a deserted island. You are surrounded with resources. These organizations that I mentioned are Childplacing Agencies. Part of their work, once they've licensed the home, is to provide. It's not enough to just recruit. You have to maintain the other end. You have to retain. It's recruitment and retention. So it's not enough to bring a bunch of people in and then just wash your hands and say, oh, good luck. No,
Yeah.
absolutely not. Our people are out there making sure that our caregivers have the tools and the resources that they need, including if they need a break, including having a champion to on their side to make sure that they're not taking on too much of a responsibility or too many children or whatever the case may be. They are not doing it alone. And back to your original point, you're absolutely right. The media sometimes portrays one story, and you and I both have worked in the newspaper business before, and I tell people this all the time. Yes, we have terrible challenges in child welfare, but it's not always that A1 story you read about, that horrific example of child abuse. That is just not the norm. The reason it makes news is why?
It's because it's not the norm.
Because it doesn't happen all the time,
Yeah.
right? The average cases, these are families who, for the most part, have substance abuse problems or mental health problems, domestic violence problems that can be worked with.
So the child most likely is just going to be temporarily in the foster home.
Most children who are removed from home, first of all, that is not a decision made lightly at all. And the majority of children in the system actually stay in home, and it's what we call in-home services. So there has been an incident of abuse or neglect, but it hasn't risen to the level of posing an immediate safety, an immediate danger to the child. And so a decision is made that the best place for the child is to stay at home with mom and dad and to pump services in the home. And these are good services.
What kind of services?
Well, for instance, in-home intensive services. We work with Boys Town. We work with Behavior Basics. These are all programs. They use evidence-based programs to work with families to help them to, we talk about redirecting children's behavior. Well, a lot of these parents, they need to be taught. They need to be taught, or they need to relearn some, they need to learn some positive behaviors and unlearn some negative behaviors that maybe they've been taught. The point is that it's a redemption story. The majority of children don't leave home, and the majority of children who are removed from home do go home later, because we have been successful in rebuilding a strong family for these kids to go to.
So one of the reasons that they're in your home, it's like you're offering temporary shelter and temporary love and affection, because there's some type of situation where they could be in danger, or mom or dad is not available or can't be there for them.
If a child is in the home of a caregiver, a foster parent, then that child has been removed from home temporarily, usually temporarily, not always. There are cases where children cannot go home, and that's another decision that is not made lightly, and it's made by a team of people, including a judge. That all goes through the court system. But that foster home is a temporary place of respite, safety, and kindness and normalcy for the child while mom and dad are getting things right at home. And it's also, we're really recently, in recent years, we have really acknowledged the importance of co-parenting. So, and it's become part of the curriculum when training new foster parents, and it's teaching them to work together with biological parents. It's in the children's best interest because it creates this bridge between home and their foster home. And at the same time, it's helping the biological family see an example of a healthy, working home, and what home and family should look like, how love should look like, what a healthy relationship is. And so this co-parenting has really been tremendously successful, not just here. It's really taking off throughout the nation, and people are just in this industry especially just really beginning to understand how important that connection is to home. And you're not going to you really can't weaken that connection to home, so you might as well use the resources that you have and try to build it.
And I could see how that would be so beneficial to the children, because, it would be easier transition for them if they knew that their birth parents were part of the solution for them too, and that they were okay with it, instead of feeling like they were a ping pong ball going back and forth, and everybody wanting a piece of them.
And everybody's a part of the solution. The foster parents going into it, they understand that they are there as a temporary respite for these children, and they're going to help them to make that smooth transition back home. And so, from the very beginning, you send a message to the children in the home that we are working together as a team. We understand your mommy and daddy made a mistake. And it's unacceptable. It's an unacceptable mistake. That's why you're here with us. But people make mistakes, and we're going to work together to make sure that it doesn't happen again, to make sure that you can go home and that you'll be safe there, because the best place for you is with your mom and dad.
And the whole idea of modeling, when you're raising kids, and if you're young parents, you might not understand that the fact of the matter is that your kids are paying attention whether you want them to or not. And, they're not just paying attention when you want them to see that you're doing something that is positive, but they're also paying attention when, you're butting in front of somebody at Walmart, or
losing
or losing it because you're tired of waiting, or impatient with the teacher at school, or saying mean things about neighbors, or they're paying attention all the time. And so that modeling is so important, and to have the foster parents be able to be part of the solution like that, and then have that transition seems like a great idea.
We've had a lot of success with it, and we have several foster parents who have been recognized for their work in that front. And I would even go a little further and say that it may be something that prospective foster parents might think about, because one of the things that we hear a lot is, I could never be a foster parent because I couldn't let the children go. Well, first of all, we're going to help you understand why you need to let the children go, and why that's the best for everybody involved in these classes. So if you get through these classes, chances are pretty good that you're going to have a better understanding of how you can let that happen. But I think that if you're, from the very beginning, you're working with the child's biological parents, and you know that that's what your job is, that's what your role is, that's what your mission is, then you can let them go, because that's the whole point, right?
Yeah, you
That's
wanted
the whole
them
point.
to have that happily ever after, and
you
you're
were
allowing
a part
that
of that. You were a
yeah.
part. I mean, think about that. You're not just giving a child a place to stay. That's a big enough deal in itself. but you have the opportunity to help build a strong family, rebuild a family for a child.
What type of people are you looking for when you're recruiting foster families for the children?
We are looking for everybody. We're looking for all kinds of people. I don't mean that flippantly in any way, because we have so many children from all walks of life. We have children from all races. We have children with different sexual orientations. We have children who are trans children. We have children representing all communities, and so we need foster parents who can represent and best meet the needs of. We need foster parents who can best meet the varying needs of this very diverse network of children in our community. So we work with faith-based groups. So we have a lot of faith-based people who do this. Like I said, obviously it doesn't matter, what your race is. It doesn't matter what your religion is. It doesn't matter if you're gay or straight. It doesn't matter if you have an apartment or in your own home. It doesn't matter if you are a stay-at-home mom or you have a full-time job. Just pick up the phone, make the call, come to an orientation, get your feet wet, see if it's for you, and all those answers, all those questions will be answered.
You mentioned that there are some foster adoption situations where you're looking more for a permanent solution. Do parents know right off the bat before they get into the situation that it might be a permanent situation?
You mean biological parents or
no, the foster parents? Can they request something that could transition into permanency?
Foster parents are encouraged to work closely with their licensing specialists so that they always know, what are my parameters? How many children am I going to take? What age range of children will I take? And so all of those different thoughts and concerns can be discussed with the specialist, including whether that foster parent is open to adopting a child. And that happens a lot. When we lose foster homes, a lot of times it's because of a good thing called permanency, because that foster family has adopted a child and they're taking some time off. Having said that, we have come away from past years where we would, I wouldn't say we discourage that, but we certainly want people to understand that foster care is meant to be a temporary respite with the primary goal of reunification. And when we have too many homes that have come in because their actual goal is adoption, and we license them, and then we can't put children in their home because they're looking for just the right child, that's not something that we want to see happen, because then it sort of mucks
it limits
yeah.
the field.
Mm-hmm.
It limits the
it prevents
opportunities.
us from putting, it looks like we have all these places to put children, but in reality it would limit us. It would limit us from being able to place children in those homes because they're looking for just the right child. And honestly, if you ask me, they're all the right child. Just give them a shot.
So once the child goes back to their natural parents and the fostering is complete, do the foster parents stay in touch since there's been some co-parenting?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's not a one-size-fits-all process. Some do, some don't. And I actually, every time I get asked that question, one woman stands out in my head. Her name is Mary Harding, and I say her name proudly. She's a neighbor and a friend of mine, but she was a foster parent for a very long time. And even before we had words like co-parenting and extended foster care, where you're adult 18, 19, 20-year-old foster, at the time they weren't foster kids, but now extended foster care, from 18 to 21, you can stay in foster care. Anyway, before we even had terms like that, this lady and her family, they were, making those connections and keeping them. And to this day, she has a woman who was in her home as a foster child. She's in her 30s now. She has her own children, and Mary and her family, to this day, are a resource to her.
They're still close and
Very,
still,
very close.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned the extended foster care, because I'm really curious about that. So, because there was always that gap after a child aged out of foster care in the past, and then they were 18 and they were able to be on their own, but they couldn't really.
No, because they were 18.
Yeah.
Just because you're 18 doesn't mean you're.
Yeah.
Yes, that's one of the great successes in recent years, especially in the state of Florida. And funny, too, because you hear about how Florida is at the bottom of the rung nationally for so many different statistics. And I can tell you that in child welfare, we're actually right at the top. In a lot of states.
That's so good to hear.
It really is. It hasn't always been that way.
Yeah.
But many states look to Florida to model some of our best practices. And one of those things, I think it's been maybe 4 years now, was the passage of the extended foster care law, which does exactly what it sounds like. It extends the opportunity for young people to stay in foster care once they turn 18. So 18 through 21 and through 22 if there's a disability.
And so that could include college years.
It
for
does,
the
and
kids.
that's really significant because 18 is such a weird year.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, the losses are an adult, but you got to look at it. Think about it this way: this is foster care, so children in foster care come with a lot of they have problems, they have issues, and for a long time we've successfully limited the number of times that children move from home to home, but there's still those movements, and so it's really hard to stay in school to do the point is, a lot of kids when they're 18, they're still in high school. They haven't graduated.
So
high
it's
school yet.
awesome that we're on the cutting edge for the extended adoption foster program. Well, Christina, we'd love to have you come back again, maybe during the summer, and we can talk some more about some of the services that Devereaux offers. And Devereaux is going to be making a slow transition to a new name.
We are.
And so we'll talk more about that the next time you're here. But again, this month, May, is a National Adoption.
May is National
Foster
Care
Month. Yes. And so if you're interested, you could check Devereaux out on their website or on their Facebook page. Thanks for joining me. You've been listening to the Sue Ellen Sanders Show. I'm here every week with more. Thanks again for being my guest.
Thank you.
The Sue Ellen Sanders Show. Saturdays at 11:05 a.m., Monday evenings at 6:05 p.m. Right here on WPSL.